Hey, I can't hear. I can't hear you, mate. You just something's going on. Still can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now
Yeah,
I can.
I'm going to do it through the actual computer. I need to fix it up. Okay, so now it's recording. Okay, cool. So we'll start again in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Fitness Business Growth. I'm really excited to be here with my best friend from high school and my long-term business partner, Mitchell. How are you?
Mitchell, that's very formal.
Yes.
I'm doing well. Yeah, excited for this first podcast. It's been something we've been planning for a little while and just getting all our tech stuff set up. So excited to share a bit of our story today and start to connect with some of our audience.
Awesome. So I just want to share the purpose of this podcast. If you're listening and you're a fitness business owner, a gym owner, a personal trainer, boot camp in the park, whatever the case may be, we want to share with you the best fitness business practices that have worked for us in the past and is working today for us in our business. And that's what we found is a big thing, Mitch. What worked in 2015 certainly doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, and I think just to take a step back, that's why we have allocated, I guess, the name of this to be fitness business and not gyms, because we know there are a lot of variations of what a typical and traditional gym is. But yeah, to your point, a lot has changed in the last 7 or 8 years, and that's sort of when we got started. But it's forever changing, forever evolving, and I mean, even in the last couple of months, last couple of years, the whole dynamic of what it is to run a fitness business has changed with everything that happened in 2020 and 2021. So we're just wanting to explore that a little bit more, share our story, share what's working for us, because we feel like we have a fair amount of experience and knowledge, working with different types of fitness businesses.
Yeah, one thing that kind of has bothered us both is there is so much information online that is constantly in your feed from business coaches, gurus that may not have done what they're advising other people to do. And it's our own personal belief that that is just wrong. Because unless you've been in the trenches, unless you've owned a gym, owned a fitness professional, it is very hard to give people advice. It's just like the overweight personal trainer.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of comparisons to, the fitness industry, and that's where if you are a trainer who's trying to help people lose weight or get strong, and you've never lost weight yourself or you've never gotten strong, then who are you to tell someone else the best way to do it? And it definitely applies to business. We've found that in the past through other people that we have looked up to and listened to, that their theory behind a lot of these concepts and a lot of the information that they provide sounds really good, but it stops at that. It is theory, and the practicality of it that we have trialed and put into place in our business, it hasn't worked the way that the theory makes it seem. And that's where we, even to date, the people that we look up to and the people that we take information off are people who have walked the walk that we're currently walking. And for us, we feel like that's really important, because there's a lot of really good information out there that just doesn't have the same effect in practicality as it has when it's being told.
Yeah, and we've worked with a few business coaches in the past, and they were always ahead of us at that time. And if you can see someone that's ahead of you that has walked the walk, you can just borrow their knowledge, borrow their experience. And one of the most important things is to not make the same mistakes that we have made in the past and that you are likely to make if you don't avoid certain pitfalls.
Yeah, that's right. We've made a lot of mistakes. We certainly haven't been perfect along the way. And that's where a lot of the things that we have had to navigate ourselves, or with help from someone who is further along the journey than us, has been really helpful. And we've done a lot wrong. We've also done a lot right, and feel like that even now, because something we haven't mentioned just yet is we still currently own 2 fitness businesses in Newcastle, New South Wales. So we are still applying and using the information that we learn and applying this within our two businesses. Some of it sticks, some of it doesn't. And like we mentioned earlier, business, regardless of the industry, but, also in the fitness space is forever evolving. And, what worked last week or last month or last year isn't necessarily going to work today and into the future. So it's something we're always changing. We use a lot of trial and error. We see what works. We see what doesn't. And, we find that we're able to create a group of, I guess, best practices and be able to apply that within our business. And that's the message we're wanting to share as well.
And before you listen to a word that we say, I think we should just share our journey a bit, which is what led us to today. Now, believe it or not, we've been in the fitness industry since 2012, 10 years, and we've owned our own facility since 2015. So it's a young industry, so we are actually dinosaurs in this industry. Not many people can say they've been doing fitness business for 10 years, and especially owning two successful and highly profitable gyms for 7 years. It's something that we're both really, really proud of, and that's why we want to share our experience with you.
Yeah, it's all we've really done in our adulthood. We finished school together in 2007, and I went to uni and stuffed around for a bit, and then it was 2012 when we got started, and we haven't left. It's also been our primary, I guess, wage and way that we have made a living since then. It's not something that's been done on the side. Or off in the background when we've worked a corporate job or worked any sort of other part-time or full-time job. It has solely been through the fitness space and in the industry. But we've seen a lot of changes, and we've also worn a lot of different hats over these years as well.
Yeah, and we owe everything we own in our lives to our fitness businesses. This is all we've ever done. We both own our own homes. We're both fortunate in the position to be in a position where we're not running sessions in the gym anymore. We are working on the business as opposed to in the business. And when we all start that first fitness business, the majority of us are running away from a job because we want that freedom. But if you do not understand the best fitness business practices and how to grow your business, you end up just having a job. And sometimes that job can be actually worse than the job you had beforehand because it's 24/7. And trust me when I say this, we understand what it's like when you get the cancellation email from a member that you really like, really care, really respect for, or the freeze on a Friday night when you're outside with your friends. And they're the things that the fitness business coaches don't understand if they haven't had their own business.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about things being good in theory, and when you hear from some people it seems like it is all sunshines and rainbows all the time, and you get members and you build your member base, and it's all going to be gravy. You continue to see direct debit grow and grow and grow quarter after quarter, year after year, and the thought of having cancellations or freezes or problems or difficult members or problems with your DA or your building or your neighbors or you name it, we've done it, we've experienced it all. But yeah, you touched on something really, I guess, important there with, we know other people in the industry where it is a one-man band. They run all the sessions, they clean the gym, they're doing all the admin work, they're taking sales calls, they're running the social media. And like Jamie mentioned too, getting those cancellation messages on a Saturday morning or a Friday night, it's enough to derail your whole weekend or your whole night at times. So we're fortunate enough now to have a team in place that does that for us. We keep our finger on the pulse and manage those staff. We run some sessions by choice, just because we do like to be involved at a small level and still have interaction with our members. But it is something that we have now set to the point where we could, be working at home 100% of the time, working on the business and not show our face. And I don't think it would have too much impact on anything at all. So we're in a good spot now. It hasn't happened overnight. We've been a 10-year overnight success, I guess you would say. But wanting to share a little bit more about what we've done and how we've gotten to this point.
Yeah, and before you listen to a business coach or guru, this is the one question you should ask, or they should answer for you. And it's, why should you listen to us, or why should you listen to them? So In 2015, we opened up our first facility. Since then, we've opened 7. We've sold 5, and we currently have 2 gyms that are owned and operated and are running today. Sessions were running there this morning. We're proud to say that we have over 300 high-paying members, and it has just become the business of our dreams, where when we first set out to have that fitness business to help people, that's what it's actually become, as opposed to the ugly side of running a fitness business, which is the marketing, the sales, and the retention.
Yeah, that's right. And I think when we first got in it, when people get in it, you get your influx of people because you're something new, you're exciting, you might be new to town, you might have a new location, the town might have been, dying for something like this, you whatever the situation is. But then a harsh reality of what it is to be running a fitness business sets in after not too much time, and sales and marketing and retention and operations and everything else that goes in and around that. That's what we need to be on top of as owners. And even though we aren't in the gym in person too much anymore, we are still keeping a handle on those things, because that is what makes the business run. That's what's going to continue to make it successful. As much as having a direct debit style business like what we have is, really, really sought after thing for business owners, having revenue that you can count on, month after month. It isn't going to last forever. People are going to cancel. People are going to freeze. Acquisition's going to get more challenging. What worked last year isn't going to work this year. And it's about navigating those challenges and those struggles and finding new ways to make your business successful and stay successful.
Yeah, of course. I think the one thing that, if you don't mind me saying, that we have always been really great at is acquiring new clients. And I will die on this hill that there is nothing more important than having a reliable source of new clients walking into your gym week after week, year after year. It is the lifeblood of your business. And it's probably the thing that gym owners kind of don't enjoy. That's the most important part of the business, but it's the number one thing that gym owners don't enjoy.
Yeah, I think because especially in times gone by, back when group training was a little bit newer, they probably didn't really have to do too much of that. It was just the old saying, build it and they will come. And now
50 people that built it.
Yeah, 2022, like, it's not a new thing anymore. And there are, lots of competition within your town. For us, we have 2 locations. We've got probably 6 or 7 competitors within a kilometre radius at each place.
Well, let's be really honest. We're in a complex with 2 other gyms. Like when we open the front door of our gym, we're looking into another gym. And if we turn our head to the right, 50 meters down, there's another gym.
Yeah, that's one of our locations. The other one, we've got a bit of an industrial area behind us, and there's 3 gyms in that complex. And then about 100 meters up the road, there's a CrossFit gym. So we're not short on competition, and I'm not saying we're special. It's everyone everywhere that has lots of competition. So getting back to the original point, marketing and sales is something that probably hasn't really been a priority for a lot of owners up until the last few years. But now, with it being an aging industry and with it being not as novel as it once was, the need to have a good marketing system, to have good sales practices, and to have that whole system down pat to the point where you can acquire customers is extremely important. It would be lovely to say that you're never going to lose a member again, but the reality is that people move, people get sick, people lose their jobs. People do lose motivation. People do go to competitors. Obviously, there are ways that you can limit that, but as it would have it, there are some things that are simply unavoidable. And if you're not replacing those people that leave, then your business is going backwards.
It's one of those things that some of those coaches will say that sounds so great in theory: never lose a customer again. Do these 7 things and never lose a customer again. I am sad to say this. We've had members die the last 7 years. That's really grim. We've had members that have fallen pregnant. We have members that like went through COVID, lost their jobs, lost their houses. Like, you are going to lose customers.
We've had 8 or 10 members who have had and do currently
Cancer.
have cancer.
Yeah, and I guess what this podcast is about too is just being really open and really honest with other fitness business owners and dispelling the myth that like you're never going to lose a customer ever again. Like, it's just not true.
Yeah, and we will be talking in future episodes about retention and some of the strategies that we use to keep members longer, to keep them motivated, to keep them achieving results and progress that they originally set out to do. But there is a percentage of people that, like we mentioned, they lose their job, they move away, they get sick, they get injured. You know, there's a number of things that has absolutely nothing to do with you or your gym or the way it's run, and they're going to leave. So that's where, to tie in with what Jamie said originally, having a reliable way to acquire customers and to acquire new prospects and turn them into new paying and hopefully high paying clients and members is going to be the most important part of any fitness business, because unfortunately, regardless of what you hear other people say, there is no way you are never going to lose a customer again. And as long as you're losing customers, albeit even a small amount, you need to have people coming through.
Where it's really important to working with a business coach that does have experience is like, sometimes you can feel like you have a retention issue. Well, let's say that you have 100 members in your gym. If you lose 3 to 5 members a month, that's absolutely incredible. Like, your retention should be around that number, that 3 to 5%. If it's up to 10, then you've probably got an issue. But I've seen gym owners in the past that are losing 3 members a month, and they're trying to solve their retention issue. Like, the 3 people leaving, it is part of owning a fitness business, and there is nothing you can do about it. And where fitness businesses go wrong, not just with retention, they focus on the wrong thing. Like, they don't understand what the bottleneck in their business is. They think it might be a retention problem, but maybe it's a pricing problem. Maybe it's a contract problem. Maybe it is not getting enough leads. Maybe you can't nurture those leads. There is 15 different things you can work through. And having a business coach can identify, well, like, where is the bottleneck?
Well, sometimes just the owner's attention and their thoughts are going to somewhere that is completely not relevant to the success of their business. They feel like if they get half a dozen new Concept 2 bike ergs, that their members are going to be absolutely ecstatic and tell all their friends, and they're going to get an influx of new members. But in reality, it's just another machine where their legs are going to be really, they're going to be burning when they push the pace on that. Or they think they need some new GHD sit-ups, GHD machine, or whatever it may be. So I think it can be very easy to lose sight of what's important. And for a lot of owners, you're so caught up in your business, and there are sometimes loud members, not physically loud, but you have members who are a big part of your community. And if every week they're complaining or, making fun of something, the old barbells, or, we need a bigger space, or, oh, we should have a 7:30 a.m. session so I can come on my days off. And all of a sudden, these are things that you're starting to look to change and think it's going to revolutionize your business. Where in reality, it's not going to make any difference at all. And what you need to look at is your sales and marketing and your operations, as opposed to one of those small things that may seem like it's a big problem or a big issue, but in reality, you're just so far in the weeds that it's not at all.
Yeah, I think we both agree. I'm probably one more end, you're probably the other end. I truly think sales and marketing fixes all problems. And then obviously the operations is important. But like that exact example where we've done it before in the past, we had that loud member of the gym, oh, we need to get a boxing bag. We've got the boxing bag, and that member left. Now we're stuck with the boxing bag. When at all times, if we're proud of our program, we were confident in what we're doing, and we could generate more leads, more members, we wouldn't worry about that one loud voice in the gym and her boxing bag request.
I think that's why we've always worked well together too, is because while like you said, you feel like sales and marketing fixes all, and I think it fixes a lot of the problems, maybe not quite all of them. And
Yeah.
that's where having the harmony between getting new members and onboarding them into a system that is going to work, it isn't going to piss off your current members. It isn't going to overflow current sessions. You're not going to have to change your programming. You're not going to have to go and buy a bunch of new equipment. You're not going to have to make any changes, but do it in a way that they can seamlessly transition into your business without making drastic changes elsewhere. But I would agree, although it may not fix all problems, it does fix a lot of them in sales and marketing. If you are someone who can acquire customers well, then you are going to be in a much, much, much better position than any other gym in your area who is probably going to be struggling with that exact same thing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Well, mate, let's wrap it up for episode 1. This is more of a get to know you. We did talk some tactics. Moving forward with the episodes, we're going to have a more tactical approach in regards to if you do want to generate leads, we will teach you how. If you want to nurture those leads, we'll teach you how. And we'll just move down that pipeline of fixing every problem in your gym. And the goal of this podcast is just to provide tremendous value to our listeners.
Yeah, we want to touch on different topics and different subjects within fitness, within your fitness business, something that is very specific to other fitness business owners. If you were to someone to be looking for information on running a small business or a service-based business, sometimes it's not really that applicable to running a fitness business. It's something we've both found. We've listened to podcasts and read books and look to find information to help us and our business that isn't fitness related. And although there are some good things and some good nuggets you get out of those pieces of, I guess, content, it's not specific to a fitness business. We find that it's very unique to be running, a gym, boot camp, personal training studio, fitness business. And that's where we want to share and explore a lot of the different topics that maybe otherwise aren't being explored, and you can get some new information that you can apply for your own business.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for listening. Let's wrap it up, Mitch, and we'll see you all for episode 2.
Thanks, guys.